since you are currently, and I think going forward will also be, the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee. We have right now on our screens dueling split screen coverage of President Biden in Brownsville and former President Trump in Eagle Pass. And it seems that the sitting president of the United States understood that he needed to go to the border, but he's really not seeing much. Your thoughts about that trip to the border and what he's trying to accomplish and what is it all about?
Well, they know politically. I mean, this is the only reason Joe Biden is down there, is to try to help his flagging poll numbers, because the border is an 80-20 issue in America right now, and it's rapidly approaching, numbers bigger than that. When you've got people in communities being displaced, you got kids being displaced out of schools, you got murders like this young girl over in Georgia, a medical student or nursing student that was murdered by a Venezuelan who was released into this country. This is going on all over America. There isn't a single American who's safe, and Joe Biden knows he's suffering politically because of his open border policies. Now, the right thing to do would be to follow the law that was written by a bipartisan Congress years ago, but it would fly in the face of their concept for a future America, and they're not going to do it. And so he's down there in a dog and pony show, and they've cleaned it all up so it'll look just fine for him. I promise you this, Brian, and I, as the chair of Homeland, I've been to the border so many times and talked to Border Patrol, Customs and Border Patrol, Customs Border Protection guys, Border Patrol and Customs guys, and those guys are celebrating Donald Trump's visit, and they are barely tolerating President Biden's.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I found there was a little clip that I stumbled across today from Secretary Mayorkas. He is still, for the moment, the Secretary of Homeland Security. And it's from September of 2021. This was an appearance on MSNBC. I want you to hear the question, and I want you to hear his answer. Again, remember, this is September of 21. He's been secretary only a few months, and here's how that went down.
I'd like to understand from you what Trump-era immigration policies have been banned, ended, reversed, and if any investigations are underway by you.
So we have rescinded so many Trump immigration policies, it would take so much time to list them.
Now, that's, again, September of 21. You have a situation where they now say, we can't get anything done. We can't fix the border without Congress acting. But you have an admission in September of 21 that indeed they had just undone all the Trump policy era, and we know what happened afterwards. It turned into an unmitigated disaster. It is true, is it not, that this president could simply go back to where we were before, and that the situation would be immeasurably better.
Absolutely. They could go even further than that. The president currently has authority to, under emergency conditions, shut the entire border down completely. But the Trump-era policies absolutely worked, and there were about 89, I think, within a few weeks of going into office, that 89 policies that were rescinded, whether it was remain in Mexico or, next nation status or, some of that stuff, and the detention policies, the deportation policies that Trump had, those adhered to the law. And, of course, what President Biden's done is actually violating the law, and why we impeached Mayorkas was just the memos directing his own employees to break the law. But, yeah, there are too many tools available right now to solve the problem. They refuse to do it.
Will the Senate take up the impeachment matter?
That's the million-dollar question. And I getting inside the mind of Chuck Schumer, first, the idea of that scares the hell out of me. But I don't think they can afford for us to come over there and present those articles, because every time we talk about this, America gets a little bit more educated on what this president has done to the country. And this is a fundamental long-term damage. When you look at that 1.8 million known gotaways, and that figure is misleading, because the Border Patrol agents have all left the border to process people at the crossing sites. We have so many more unknown gotaways now, as opposed to known gotaways. And so the number of people that are here that we have no idea who they are. Hamas, well, we don't know. We know we got an al-Shabaab guy released into the country. He was here for almost a year, and they just recently caught him. Thank goodness for the FBI task force on that. We know there are 7 or 9 Uzbekis that were brought here by an ISIS agent, but we don't even know about all the others in that big pile. We know fentanyl's poured into the country, going from $95 a hit to $28 a hit in Tennessee, according to our sheriffs. That's a supply-demand issue. That's because of Joe Biden and Americans have died. We know that the cartels have linked up with the gangs in various cities across the country. They not only own the border, they now own the gangs inside the country. This is, fundamental harm to the United States of America by Joe Biden's immigration policies, all against the laws written by Congress, all disregarding a co-equal branch of government. And that's why I and my team impeached the guy.